Hi friends, in this video I'd like to talk to you about how to develop your awareness and the importance of developing awareness. See, awareness is like wisdom. It's not about accumulating knowledge, it's far beyond that. I've been teaching leadership and happiness for over 30 years all over the world, and I've had the good fortune of meeting many people who are highly evolved in their level of awareness. I've also met several people who are not so evolved in their level of awareness, and through this video message, I'd like to also bring out the difference between these two. Let's begin.
Didn't even get to cross.
Hi friends, I'd like to talk to you in this video about how to develop awareness. But since awareness is not very easy to explain, I'd like to do this through a story. The story is about a young man who wants to become a martial artist. Now in Japan, the way to become a martial artist is to go to a Zen master. The Zen master would take you into his house, make you an apprentice, and make you do all the household chores for him. You wash the vessels, you sweep the floors, and then one day he starts teaching you a martial art. Maybe it is fencing, or it is sword fighting, or the nunchak war. He teaches you a weapon and you master that art, and one day with that mastery of that particular art you achieve such a degree of excellence that you disappear and you become enlightened and you become a Zen master. That is the story. That's the way it goes. So this young man, he goes to a Zen master and he says, will you teach me? He asks the Zen master. So he smiles. There are two types of people who smile a lot, I always say. One is masters, the other is idiots. Idiots smile because they know nothing. That's like this guy. So will you teach me? And the masters smile because they know everything, And masters don't answer questions. They just smile and make you look very stupid. See, teachers will answer questions, professors will answer questions, I will answer questions. But people who are masters, they just smile. So this guy, one guy smiles and says, will you teach me? The other guy smiles and he hands him a broom. The master hands him a broom, which means get to work, which means he's accepted him. So the guy is very happy. The young man starts washing the vessels for the master, starts sweeping the floors and maintains the house. Now, 6 months pass by. Not a single lesson in fencing, sword fighting or any martial art. And this guy is diligently, dedicatedly devoted in cleaning all the master's house. But he keeps thinking, he thinks that, 6 months have passed by. The master has not taught me anything. Maybe I should check with him. Maybe he's forgotten. So a little bit afraid, apprehensive, he goes up to the master and he goes to him and says, Master, 6 months have passed by. I'm cleaning everything in your house, but you haven't taught me any martial art. When will you teach me? He asks him again with that stupid smile. Okay. Master doesn't answer questions as usual. He is true to his nature. He just smiles and walks away. Okay. And this disciple is left looking dumbfounded. So he continues to do all the household work for the master. But something very interesting happens. Since the day this guy asked him the question, the master comes up behind him and suddenly hits him. While he is doing his housework, he takes a stick and he beats him. Okay? So he's doing the housework and he gets beaten. And suddenly he's doing the sweeping, he gets beaten. Now this guy becomes paranoid. You know what is paranoia? Paranoia is irrational fear of something. So he's paranoid. Andy Grove wrote a book called the guy with Intel, from Intel. They wrote a book called Only the Paranoid Survive. I don't recommend being paranoid at all. But if it helps in awareness, that's better than being foolish like ostrich, who is blindly positive. And he puts his head in the sand and says the storm will not come, because he's not aware that the storm could come. Okay, so it's better to be paranoid in that sense. Okay? So this guy becomes paranoid because he doesn't know when the master is going to hit him. Another 6 months pass by. Not only is this guy doing all the household work for free, after asking the master that will you teach me, he gets beaten black and blue and he doesn't know from where the master is going to hit him. So finally at the end of another 6 months, 1 year has passed by. The master has not taught him anything. This guy says, forget it, man. I'm getting out of here. This guy is not teaching me. When I'm asking him, he's beating me. And now I'm beaten black and blue. I'm getting out of this place. But before I go, I'm going to teach him a lesson. So this young man makes a plan. His plan is that he will take a stick and he will hit the master and run away. Okay? When the master is not being aware of what's happening. So with this plan in his head, because the guys hit him so much, he wants to get back at him. So now imagine this scene, friends. Okay? The master is in the kitchen cooking rice. Okay? He is stirring the rice with the spoon. The disciple is here. Disciple takes a stick, and the disciple comes from behind and he's about to hit the master. The master, who is cooking the rice and stirring it with one hand, he parries the blow with the lid in the other hand. He defends the hit, and he turns around and looks at the disciple and says, this is lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 is be aware of your surroundings. Okay? So when he tries to hit the master defends it with the lid, okay? And he shows him that this awareness is what you need to develop. If you develop this kind of awareness, I will give you a fence, I will give you a sword, I will give you a nunchuck, or I will give you a weapon, you will wield it. See, the skills come later. The weapons come later. The first thing to develop is your awareness. Awareness is your perceptual capability. How do you develop this awareness? How do you develop this understanding, this awareness of everything that's happening? It's about thinking micro. Micro means being aware of every moment. You've heard of mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is a movement. But there's a mindfulness institute created by John Kabat-Zinn in America, which became an entire movement all over the world. Everybody talks about mindfulness, but mindfulness is just a small part. John Kabat-Zinn himself took it from Vipassana, which was propagated by Sri Goenka. Now, Vipassana is much, much huger than just mindfulness. Mindfulness is just about focus, just about being in the moment and being focused. Vipassana is much bigger than that. But thinking micro, then thinking macro. It's about thinking micro and thinking macro simultaneously. Thinking macro is what Edward de Bono in his 6 Thinking Hats talks about, the blue hat, which is thinking about thinking, which they call metacognition. Or as Krishna says, have drashta bhav or sakshi bhav, which is be a witness and look at things from the outside. So thinking micro, thinking macro, having peripheral vision. Peripheral vision is knowing what is happening around you. Even though I'm focused here, I know exactly what is happening around me. Can you don't be like a horse with the blinders who can see only in front. Because then you can't see a lot of reality that is happening and ever changing around you. So micro, macro, peripheral vision, having insight, having an understanding into yourself, and having an understanding into the microcosm, which gives you an insight into how the macrocosm works. Having insight, having ideas, having understanding, having foresight, being aware of the possibilities of what could happen. Okay? All of these things, thinking deeper and not thinking at all also sometimes. Okay? Where you go with that awareness and that awareness becomes a habit in you. So all of these things comprise awareness. It is very important to develop not only our ways of thinking, but also our perceptual capability, ability to perceive things better, understand things more. This understanding will lead to clarity. And once you have clarity, then you know what to do, what not to do, what is the right thing to do, and you just do it. Develop your awareness. Thank you very much. Thanks.